Hello, my name is Katie Macintyre, and I'm your host for the podcast, The Loving Cup, Elevate Your Gratitude. Today is Tuesday, February 20th, 2018, and we're live from the FingerLakes1.com studios in Seneca Falls, New York. So welcome. So before we jump in and talk gratitude with my guest today, I wanted to share a quote from Rabbi Harold Kushner. And he says, "Can you see the holiness in those things you take for granted, a paved road or a washing machine? If you concentrate on finding what is good in every situation, you will discover that your life will suddenly be filled with gratitude, a feeling that nurtures the soul." So let's jump in and welcome my guest today, Dan Lovell and his family. And just want to say welcome.
Hi.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So I like to start off with having my guests introduce each other. So who wants to go first?
I will. I guess we'll start at the end there. Daniel Lovell. He is a 15-year-old 10th grader at Auburn High School. He's a multi-instrumentalist, a drummer, a guitar player, a songwriter, and a saxophonist and singer, and also a visual artist.
Indeed.
And my son, Delaney Lovell, is an actress, singer, who's been in several different productions. She's also a ukulele player, bass player, and a flutist. And my daughter. And Olivia Lovell, my youngest, who is a dancer and a 6th grader at St. Joe's.
Beautiful.
And he is Dan Lovell, IT Director of United Way of Central New York, owner of Code Monkeys Design and Development, and the lead singer and multi-instrumentalist of Nightly Mary and the Formerlies.
He's also the founder of Rock Show Records, and he's on the board of directors of the Cuyahoga County Arts Council. And our dad.
Well, you guys are lucky. He's a good guy.
Yep.
So welcome. So let's jump in and talk a little bit about gratitude. And I want you to think about the past year and share something with me that you are most grateful for. And whoever wants to go first can jump right in.
Well, obviously the biggest thing for me, there's a lot of things that I could be grateful for, I guess, but the last year has been for us certainly a journey, quite an adventure. I think back in October, I suffered a heart attack.
Scary.
Very scary. And had ended up with open heart surgery, sextuple bypass. It's 6 bypasses.
Wow, Dan. Go big or go home.
That's right. Don't do anything halfway in this family. Yeah. So I think that anybody who knows me, anybody who's been around me for a while, would tell you that I was never ungrateful. I certainly, I spend a lot of time trying to get and do as much as I can. It's sort of the way I operate. But I'm super grateful that I came through what I did. I'm really grateful that I had the doctors I had, the medical facilities at St. Joe's, the people there who took care of me. But mostly, grateful for my kids who were there, and obviously grateful for every day. The kids, we all have a pretty special bond, and a lot of that sort of comes through with our music. We're all musicians, and the 4 of us we play in a little band together.
Did you bring your instruments today?
We didn't. You should have asked.
Next time.
But we do play in a little band together. I'm surprised you don't hear us from your house, to be honest. But but it's funny in a situation where you know that you're suffering from a medical emergency. It's really difficult to put into words what that makes you feel like. And I remember as I was having this emergency, and when they told me that I was going to be going in shortly for open heart surgery, the first thing that you feel is I don't know that I'm going to come out of that. You're not really positive if you're going to open your eyes up ever again. And so, one of the things for me that I thought of, I kept thinking of is I want to do that. I got to get up and I got to get out and play again. I've got to be able to, spend the time with my kids. There are too many things, new things that I want to see and experience with them, things that I don't want them to lose. And I'm really grateful that I can. I think I missed 2 band practices. I stopped. I was off all my pain medications 3 days after surgery. I never took another one after. And I was up and at band practice in 3 weeks. And it's been, an awesome journey since then. I'm really grateful for the kids. Delaney was amazing through every day that I was in the hospital. While she was at school, she messaged me all between classes and stuff just to make sure I was all right and to see how I was doing, to make sure that I wasn't lonely and stuff, and just kept me company. We visited every day, and he took good care of me. I don't know where I would be without him.
Wow. So how about for you guys?
Yeah, there's obviously that whole thing. It's for me it's different because it's not my life. It's not my life that I need to be alive so I can raise children. So I can be there for them. I'm just grateful that I have him in my life. So I think it's a different perspective, obviously being his kid. And I feel like there isn't a day that goes by that I'm not grateful for his life. And there was this song that this artist plays, I can't remember who it is right now, but it always used to make my brother cry, and it was the only song that could make him cry. And now every time I hear it, it just makes me cry, and I didn't usually cry to it, but now it's about a heart attack and how a guy dies of a heart attack, and it makes me emotional now, being grateful that he's still with us. And I guess that's it.
Thank you. How about for you?
Well, I will have to definitely agree with being very thankful that he's alive, because probably for me the scariest moment of the entire situation was when he found out that he was going in to have open heart surgery, because he called me when he found out, and it was 2:30 in the morning, and I hadn't gone to bed yet, but picked up my phone, saw him calling. I picked it up expecting good news, thought he was going to be coming home or something, and hearing my dad on the phone telling me that he was going to have the surgery, to me, I didn't know if that was going to be the last time I ever talked to him again, so that was just kind of a night that I'm thankful that everything turned out in the end though, and he's still here now. So
yeah, I didn't get the phone call, obviously I was asleep, but he woke me up the next morning and he was like, "Do you know what's going on?" And I had no idea, and he said, "Dad has to get open heart surgery. They tried to do the procedure, and they found that he had 6 blockages or whatever it was." And for Daniel, it must have been terrible just hearing his dad's voice and thinking that it would be the last time I got to talk to him. But for me, I didn't get to talk to him maybe that last time. So I'm just grateful that he made it through. And every time I visited him in the hospital, well, not every time, but a couple of times after he got out of the surgery, it was extremely difficult for me to keep my tears inside, because it just hurt so bad to see him like that, but I was just so grateful that he actually made it.
I've never heard of someone having 6 I've heard like quadruple, but
I hear that the record is 8, so I'm a little disappointed that I didn't break that. But
you're an overachiever.
But yeah, I had 3 vessels that were 95% blocked, including the left ventricle, which my understanding on that is that if that becomes fully blocked, then you have about 10 minutes. The most amazing thing, I guess, for me, all of this sort of snuck up in a way that I would never have guessed. I'm not a heavy drinker or smoker, or I walk and exercise. I'm not terribly sedentary, but we have some heart disease in the family. It's a thing that sort of, between genetics and sometimes some stress, I guess, that was kind of unavoidable. But I had no idea that it was happening. And the crazy thing is that I went in for catheterization so they could check. I mean, all the way through the process, they kept saying, well, it's probably one blockage somewhere. We'll do a stent. It'll be fine. You'll go back to work in 2 days. It's no big deal. And so as Daniel's talking about, he knew that I was going into the cath lab, so I told him, don't worry about it. I'll call you afterwards. They said it's going to be about an hour, and I'll be able to get back in touch with you afterward. And, you're awake for that whole procedure. And so during that catheterization, they found out that, no, they weren't going to be able to do stents, and they were going to have to do open heart. But what they found out during that was that my heart created its own bypass at some point. That basically was what kept me alive. So I had no idea that I was that kind of sick, or that I had that kind of issue, because this bypass had sort of created itself, and it allowed me to have no idea that I was in trouble. So there was a lot of luck or divine intervention or something, whatever it is. I got extraordinarily lucky, and I'm just, I'm real glad to be where I am now. And we're, sort of, I think, grabbing the adventure and the sort of learning from it and all of that too. And I think it's just sort of helped us to all be closer and all of that, I guess.
Yeah, and it hasn't been that long.
No, it was just October. So, I mean, I'm still in a place where I've got lifting restrictions and, and stuff like that, exercise restrictions, and some of those things are a little bit weird for me to handle, but they've been great, as far as helping out and making sure that things are done. And
so no shoveling this winter?
No shoveling, which, I'm not going to complain about.
That's good. So can you share with me what you're most grateful for in each other?
Do I have to give you a certain experience, or just?
Nope, you can answer it however it's comfortable. But if there's something about your brother or your sister or your dad that jumps out that you're just grateful for, I'd love to hear that.
For my brother, I feel like I'm most grateful for him being my best friend. And when I was in the hospital, shortly after my dad was in the hospital, I just wanted my brother to be there. So I asked for him. And yep, that's it, I guess. With
Perfect.
My dad, I guess I'm most grateful for him just being there for me, always rescuing me when I need someone.
Perfect.
For me, I would say, just for all of us, just kind of, we're all just we're family, but we're also just really good friends, and we all we can be around each other without killing each other for the most part. And it's just a nice experience, to not have a family situation where you don't like to be around your siblings, or just because you don't like them. I feel like I'm grateful to have that.
Friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
I think that every parent, as their children grow up, you fear that, that day that you're not cool enough to hang out with your kids, and my kids are, now teens, and I'm really grateful that they haven't made me feel too old for them, too uncool for them. I love the fact that we all hang out together. Really grateful for the times that we spend laughing together and, just enjoying each other's company. We bicker, but we, bicker as equals, I think, and there's very little top-down management in my house. We don't, there's not a whole lot of yelling and arguing. There's a lot more discussion. There's a lot more sort of, it's hard to explain it, but, we all have a lot of respect for one another, and I'm really grateful for that. It's a thing that, like I said, this huge fear, I think, and you're a parent, so I'm sure that you feel the same way, but it's, I guess every day I think, any minute now, I'm not cool enough for these guys, and they've both, all three of them, but the older two have certainly at this point reached a point where they're pretty cool kids. They do some really cool things, and both of them as as musicians, as performers and stuff like that have gotten to their own levels of being kind of awesome, and you feel like as your star fades and the other ones ascend or whatever, it's kind of a scary thing to watch, but they've always sort of dragged me along for the ride, and I think it's kind of amazing, so I'm really grateful for that.
Well, you can always play backup for them,
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that I've been able to play small parts in their sort of development on all of the stuff that they do, and I've been helping Daniel produce some of the demos that he's doing for his new project, and that's been a lot of fun to sort of watch where he is as a songwriter right now compared to where I was at his age, and it's just prepared to jump out of the way really quickly here.
So was that an intentional practice in your house to have your kids pick up so many instruments and to perform and dance, and was that something that you introduced them to and shared with them, or were they naturally interested in it?
They've all just picked the things that they're naturally interested in, and I've always said from the time they were very little, I would never push them into anything. I would never force them to do anything that they don't want to do, but whatever things they wanted to do, I'd always support them as far as I could, and so every time, fortunately I play enough instruments so if they want to play something, there's one around the house, so I don't have to go out and buy one. So it's been pretty fun. We got a piano over the summertime, and it's been amazing to watch watch all of them just go over and start plucking away on that. And so we always have music in the house. There's just always music playing, and that's kind of amazing. And even Olivia is picking up the ukulele a little bit, and even plays the egg shaker in the band. So we're doing all right. I mean, all of us really enjoy that sort of time spent together. So, but musicals were never my thing. Musical theater was never my thing. But Delaney really took to it from a very young age, from I don't know, fifth grade. So she really loves acting, and it's a thing that she's been able to really blossom with. She's done a whole lot of different and pretty exciting things, some TV commercial work and some stage stuff, and I mean just really incredible stuff, and she's a really talented kid. I can't be more proud. So even though I don't particularly love musical theater, but I really love to watch her perform, and she's really great at it. And Daniel he was interested in playing the drums from the time he was probably a year old. And he has always wanted to be a drummer. He, has always pounded on everything that he could, get his hands on, and I think that he's probably the best drummer I've ever played with. So, pretty incredible.
That's awesome. Awesome. So can you talk to me about something that you're grateful for now that you weren't grateful for at the time? You think of anything like that? Like a blessing in disguise?
That's a good question.
No, that's hard to think about.
I feel like one of those things for me being like the divorce of my parents, because obviously at the time I did not handle it very well. There's still times where I'm upset about it, but I feel like now there's opened up more happiness for the both of them. Him with the new girl that he's now engaged to, and my mother with the new guy that she is engaged to, and that introduced some other good people into our life, like our soon-to-be stepsister and my mother's boyfriend's children. So I guess that it kind of came as a blessing, and I'm grateful for it now, I guess.
Thanks for sharing that. Anyone else have an answer to that question, or you want me to move on?
I don't really know what to say.
All right, so the next question's going to be good for you, I think. So can you share with me a favorite memory that you have with your kids, like something fabulous that you will never forget, something you've done that's just amazing and you're just super grateful for?
What?
Friggin' died.
What?
He almost drowned in that river.
I'm thinking of the camera, yeah.
Oh, I wasn't going to say that.
Yeah, okay.
You left.
You left us there. I think one of my favorite memories with them is I was playing a gig with one of my bands, and you know my mom brought the kids there to watch it. It was an open sort of like family place that I was playing, and the band went on break, and I brought the kids up to play, and it was amazing because the place was packed. There wasn't an empty seat in the house, and I just love watching people go wild over them. It was like one of my favorite performances ever, just to be on stage with them and to have all of these people go crazy for them. It's just really amazing to me.
So fun. So is there a name for your family band?
There is sort of.
Is it secret?
We usually go by 3DO because.
No.
What do you call us?
3D.
Well, but there's Olivia, so we have three.
I hate 3DO because it ruins the whole thing.
But anyway, yeah, we go by whatever Delaney says.
It's Daniel, Delaney, and Daniel, or Dad. Either way, it's 3Ds. I did not need to explain that.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Delaney. So how about, before we jump off, is there something else that you'd really like to share about gratitude? Any other thoughts that come to mind? And Olivia, if you want to say anything, you're more than welcome to.
Do you have anything you're grateful for?
I'm grateful that, obviously our dad is still here with us, and that I'm not actually, bawling my eyes out because of, everything, because of, the divorce and stuff. And I was very excited to see my dad after his surgery because I was happy to see that he was still, alive, and that he was, and we could, see him, and we could see him, grow and get better as the time went by.
Awesome.
I think that if there's anything that I would share, is that, for anybody, every day is a gift. And I think I've been saying for a while now, every day I wake up on the right side of the grass is a good day.
Is that metaphor?
No.
Wake up on the right side of the grass?
Hey,
It was the right side
Yeah,
of the
on the
bed.
top is best.
yeah, wake up this side, not this side. So I'm real grateful. I've had so many people who have helped along the way here, especially the last 6 months, and the kids who I'm just so glad I'm just really grateful that I'm their dad.
Well, you guys are awesome. Dan, you have a beautiful family.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming and to spend time with me.
Thank you.
I'm grateful for that. So before we jump off, I just wanted to ask you again to tell us the name of your band in case people want to hear you. So
Nightlight Mary is the name of the band, and actually if anyone does want to hear us, we're playing our big comeback show. My big comeback show will be March 31st in Rochester at the Firehouse Saloon.
Okay, March 31st.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. And so you sing and play?
I play guitar, banjo, and accordion. Not all at the same time.
Okay, I was going to say, well, you have another arm or something. Do that. How about anything you want to share with people if they want to make sure their heart is healthy? Do you have advice that they should?
Yeah, the first thing is make sure that you get to your GP. One of the things that I've been really happy to hear is a number of my friends who have said, I went and got checked out after. You're not ever too young to be checked out. Make sure that you get your blood work done. If it doesn't look great, get a stress test. Make sure that you're following all the directions, and just take care of yourself.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that does bring us to the end of our time together. So thank you to our viewers for tuning into the Loving Cup podcast. Elevate your gratitude. Again, a big thanks to the Lovell family for coming and spending some time with us today.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. If you or someone you know would be a great guest on the show, please contact me through Finger Lakes One or through Facebook. We would love to schedule you for an upcoming show. And we will be back next week, February 26th, with 2 more guests. So until then, share your gratitude, be grateful, and have a great week.